Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you for watching the last video. I got a ton of views on the throttle body video. I really appreciate all of you, especially the ones that have subscribed, hit the like button. Thank you, continue to do so. I'm gonna try and upload more often. I haven't had a chance to make a video in a while, but coming back with a pretty short, easy how-to for today regarding your suspension. Now, a ton of you guys out there will probably be experiencing this at least once in the ownership of your car. You get out, get on the road, go over some bumps, and you hear clunking. What do? In my case, it ended up being the simplest thing. If I could find it, there it is. It is the sway bar link. So my sway bar link on my car here, which I will reveal to the channel shortly, it actually is worn. So if there you see the bushing is a little bit torn up, and I think clearly destroyed. So what I decided to do today was go ahead and replace it. So I ordered mine from Rock Auto. You can order yours from anywhere. I would suggest check your local parts stores to see if they have it, because it'll be much faster. You can just grab it. Sometimes also you actually get a better deal locally. Now, my local parts supply stores didn't actually have it in stock, so I decided, for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna order. So before I continue, I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. So if you're celebrating with your family, I know this is a difficult time, but hang in there. Grab a cup of coffee and then enjoy today's video. It's a really quick how-to. I'm going to replace this now. So it's quite easy for this car to replace the stabilizer and stabilizer link. There's one bolt here, goes through to this side, and then you've got another bolt just around back here, which I think mine is stripped, so I might have to cut mine off. But it's a fairly easy how-to. 2 bolts. The only things that you're really going to need for this, especially if yours is not rusted like mine, you're gonna need a jack. Obviously, get yourself a nice, clean, good quality jack. Get yourself jack stands, obviously you want for safety, and obviously a good socket set. Grab a couple of wrenches, nice sockets, this and that. You need a hammer, just because the bolt that you're pushed through from this side, when it goes through, you also need to make sure that you hammer it out from the other side. And also when you're feeding it back in, you need to hammer it in from this side just to make sure it lines up. You got to get yourself jack stands, just because you don't want to do this on the jack. You'll need to actually put the jack underneath the control arm to make sure it stays up. And because these are not extendable, you need to jack it up. So once you get this off, you need to hold this on the jack so that you don't lose the height. That way you can actually push the bolt back through. In my case, it goes connected to the control arm. I think some of them are connected from the actual strut down to the control arm. In my case, I have a stabilizer bar, which this stabilizer link connects to at the top. So get yourself the jack under here. So let me set that up real quick. My car is already on jack stands, so I will get that set up and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. I skipped ahead. I actually made a mistake. My video wasn't recording properly, but didn't do too much. As I told you, my bolt at the top that attaches to the stabilizer bar was sort of seized, and looked like someone tried to take it off earlier and it was chewed up. So let me get that in the light. It had like rounded off, so I cut it off. I just used my angle grinder and just chopped it off from the back side, and then on this side, so it kind of marred a little bit onto my stabilizer bar, but still okay. It's just a little bit, nothing happened. Got the bolt off, that's what matters. I can actually, you don't need these because the new one comes with its own. Now, if yours hasn't rusted on, and you're luckier than I am with this, it's just a 17 mil. You just gotta get your socket on there. In my case, this is 17. It may be a 16 on some models. Yeah, just make sure you've got the jack under here before you unbolt, just because I already got the jack under here while I was grinding it off, so that in case the suspension wanted to come down a little bit, and in my case it did want to, so just put the jack under here. Alright, so I hope that's a better angle. I'm just gonna quickly unbolt the bottom of the stabilizer link, so 1/2 inch on both sides. Just get that off. It's pretty tight. Alright, that's pretty loose. Alright, that's it. Now that the jack is off, sorry, the bolt is off, it actually just slid right up. So this is the bolt that goes through the bottom. And there's the old stabilizer link. Now, as you can see, the rubber has sort of separated on the ends, especially on this side. You can compare that to the new one. As you can see, the rubber is much better. It's obviously not torn anywhere. So next step is to just get this back lined up. You may need to jack up and down a little bit in order to get the pop to thread through. So let me just take this off really quickly. Just gonna get that off. So this is a 17 mil. Okay, so I actually figured out getting the new one in might be a little bit easier if we actually loosen this bracket to get it to rotate a little bit, so that you know, getting that angle for the new one to go back in would be a little bit easier in that case. So there is a 60 mil bolt that goes from the top of this bracket down, and it bolts from the bottom. So I got my 16 mil socket on there with pretty big ratchet, so that it'll be a little easier to grab. The only way to get this to loosen is to just yank it, and then once you get it to that point, this bracket will start turning. So put a screwdriver in on an angle, and that gives you something to hold on to while you loosen. That might be the best way to do it. So that worked for me. Now I can actually get this lined up, you know, properly like that, and also get it through at the top of the stabilizer part. So I can feed this screw through. So I'm just grab the screw. Get the bolt through the bottom of the stabilizer link. Like that. And I'm going to just start the threads like that. Not going to tighten it yet, just going to get it so that enough threads are there. Hold it in place, and then slowly just, I can actually rotate this now. So I'm going to lift it. Actually, I got to lower it a little bit to that point, and then feed this right through. There we go. Lift it up now. That's it, and it's in. So got the bottom right in, got the top in, and we can then rotate this so that it's parallel to the control arm. So in that case, I'm just going to rotate it by hand, get it set right, and then switch this to tighten. And this will, when you're tightening, what it'll do is actually get into its own grooves. So do it slowly, don't use an impact, don't use anything. Do it by hand so that this bracket starts to line up with the control arm, because it has to be parallel to the face of the control arm on this side and the other side. So just start tightening it. And once you've got it tight, you're good. Get the socket off. It's a little rusty. Give it a couple of taps. There we go. Now you can tighten up your bolt here. Thread your 17 mil at the top. Now the good thing is the new bolt comes with this rubber washer so that it doesn't back off. I just thread that on my hand first to make sure you don't cross thread. There we go. Get your half on both sides. Snug is good. And then get your 17 mil on the back side. Tight. Okay, just gonna double check the bottom really quickly. That's it. Now your stabilizer link is brand new. That's about it. So I hope you guys found that easy and simple enough to do at home. You know, in my case I had a couple of rusty bolts, but really isn't that bad. I think you can get this done in about 40-45 minutes. You know, granted you have all the tools here. I had to pull out my angle grinder, so it took me a little longer, but you know, I would suggest you know, the night before you start or a couple days before, grab yourself some WD-40, spray down the bolts, you know, top and bottom. That way if they're seized, you know, you can actually still unbolt them. The WD will penetrate through. So give that a shot, you know, and like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all you guys. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, everybody. Show you how hot the metal gets when you angle grind things off. It got so hot, I put it on this rubber mat and it just clearly burned a hole right through it. So make sure you guys, when you guys are using angle grinders, wear safety goggles, wear gloves, you know, because the metal can really get hot and it'll burn. Also avoiding like cuts and scrapes.